15 Armand's Image, 12 330, 16 is Narcisse, 40 and 11 off Melbourne.
Side Dr. Clare, Keen Jewel is nice and handy, and Esplard going forward up towards the front. Esplard from the outside going up, heads them off now, heads off Lottie to lead. Over on the inside, Keen Jewel, and around them goes Big On Toys. Esplard in front from Big On Toys, Lottie third, Keen Jewel fourth from Anton Cordial fifth. Further back in the race then on the outside would have been White Widow Rose. They're followed over on the inside by Cyclone Watch. Further back then Dr. Clare, followed by Serene Joy tracking deep from Go Go Doll. 2 to Chasing the Light, 2 to Allard Jugar, and 2 or 3 then to Turn to Rain, and last of all down the side of the track is High Pixie. They come down the side, Esplard about a neck in front. On the outside Big On Toys, and Lottie's gone up 3 wide and 4 wide on Ton Cordial. 5 wide is White Widow Rose. A length for the back, Cyclone Watch. Keen Jewel on the inside, a length then to Dr. Clare. Further back in the race, Serene Joy Chasing the Light, Go Go Doll, Turn to Rain, Large Jugar, and tail right off is High Pixie. Lottie hit the front before the turn, out about 4 off the fence from Esplard. Big On Toys, and further out on Ton Cordial when they turn, and getting the run through now. Cyclone Watch is quickly striding to them into the straight. Cyclone Watch in the middle, hit the front from Lottie. Over on the inside, Esplard. Further back, Serene Joy getting a run, and Ton Cordial out wide. Cyclone Watch just in front on Ton Cordial out in the centre. Serene Joy and Lottie coming back out wide here. It's Lottie and on Ton Cordial. Serene Joy back near the inside. They're across the track. Serene Joy going home better, and Serene Joy has scored from Cyclone Watch on Ton Cordial, and behind those Dr. Clare and Lottie. Further back in the race then Keen Jewel, Turn to Rain, followed by Large Ugar. Well back White Winter Rose, Chasing the Light, followed by Esplard. Big On Toys drop right out, and the last 2 High Pixie and Go Go Doll.
Double to pay, 205.60, special div 460.
Wooden place, 16 Serene Joy, $30.60 and 5.40. 2 Cyclone Watch, $3.90 and 9 on Ton Cordial, $2.70.
And on the Super Tab, number 16, Serene Joy to return $17.40 for the win, and $3.15 the place. Number 2, Cyclone Watch, 2 even, and number 9 for third on Ton Cordial, $1.35. This is the Racing and Sporting Service on Triple S The Good Sports. Shortly to Canberra, Tony Campbell getting ready to call. Quinella 225, trifecta 1410, scratching number 2. Race 5 Canberra 418, 80, 65, 75, 215, Quinella 225, trifecta 1410 off Sydney.
Back, they're off. And one of the best to begin was Seattle Sailor. Sun Napa got out well, and so did Flying Fortress, moving to third from Goldfinger. Then Indian Lord, Mind Talk to Ceto Bridge, followed by Patton. A break then to Coup d'Azan, and about 2 lengths to Knowledge Box. 3 Mountain High Henry next to last, and about 3 further back Tristra Lady. Flying Fortress straight to the lead out of the straight and up past the 2,000 metres. Leads more than a length on Sun Napa. Third Seattle Sailor, a length to Ceto Bridge on the rails. From that inside alley, wider Goldfinger as the speed slows from Indian Lord, who's a horse off the fence, and now Ceto Bridge has shuffled back a little. Coup d'Azan has caught out a bit wide from Mind Talk to Patton, and 2.5 further back Mountain High. A break to Knowledge Box, Henry on the inside next to last, and 2 Tristra Lady. Flying Fortress is the leader, working to the back of the course and over the mile crossing. Flying Fortress 3/4 of a length on Coup d'Azan, whipping up quickly. Between them Seattle Sailor, 2 to Sun Napa. 3/4 the outside Goldfinger as Yorkie goes to the front on Coup d'Azan, and then a break to Ceto Bridge and Indian Lord. About 3 or 4 lengths to Patton past the 1400 from Mind Talk to Mountain High Henry. Knowledge Box is second last, and Tristra Lady at the tail of the field. Along to the halfway at the 1200 metres, and again Flying Fortress having a shot at Coup d'Azan. Interestingly run race this, and the third is Seattle Sailor, followed by Sun Napa and Goldfinger. A length and a half further back is Ceto Bridge, holding his posse, a horse off the fence. Indian Lord the outside from Mind Talk to Patton, and then Mountain High and Henry. 3 to Knowledge Box, and just over a length to Tristra Lady. Starting to pack up a little, coming onto the side of the course near the 900 metres, and Coup d'Azan and Flying Fortress lead the way. 3/4 of a length on Seattle Sailor from Sun Napa and Goldfinger. A length further back is Indian Lord. Mountain High taking off now from Ceto Bridge, who's become well and truly wedged away. From Mind Talk to then Patton, Henry the outside. Tristra Lady's past one, and that is Knowledge Box, who'd be 10 lengths off the lead. Coup d'Azan just shows it from Flying Fortress as they come round the corner, and here's Cooksley letting rip on Mountain High, and they straighten up, and Mountain High goes to the lead on top of the rise by a length on Coup d'Azan, Flying Fortress. Henry joining in on the outside from Goldfinger, Knowledge Box. Ceto Bridge is a mile back, can't win it, but now Henry races to Mountain High. Henry and Mountain High stride for stride. Knowledge Box next, but Henry hits the front. I could hear Max Presnell cheering. Henry boring out a shade, but holds Mountain High and Knowledge Box, and it's Henry for the money. 140. Henry beat Mountain High, Knowledge Box, then Indian Lord, Ceto Bridge, followed by Kudazan, Goldfinger. Further back in the race, Mine Talk to Seattle, Sailor, Trustra, Lady Sunnapper. Second last was Flying Fortress and Patton back at the tail of the field.
8 Henry Super Tab 285 and 105. Number 7 Mountain High to return 150 and 12 for third Knowledge Box to return 240.
90 for the place. Number 7 second, Mountain High, Grand Cooksley went for home on him as they straightened up but couldn't hold out. Henry $3.40. And number 12 third. And that'll be Knowledge Box, written by Jamie Innes, and it'll pay $4.10. Henry, trained by Guy Walter. He's done a very good job with this horse, Guy. Puts the polish on this gelding by Alma Radford, TJ and Mrs. A. Gilchrist. A 4-year-old chestnut gelding. He's only been very lightly raced. So he had 11 starts for 4 wins, 3 seconds and a third. He's a very promising stayer. Guy Walter, as I say, the trainer, Craig Carmody, the rider. Second going to number 7, Mountain High, by Bean there from Aquasphere, trained by Vic Thompson, Grant Cooksley, the rider. And 12 Knowledge Box by St. Bria Vels from Sweet Vernal, a 5-year-old chestnut gelding trained at Gosford by Neil Ward and Jamie Innes, the rider. Those numbers are now Semaphore 8, 7, 12 with the official 4th to number 10 Indian Lord. Well, Ceto Bridge, he became cluttered away at a vital stage. I noticed him in the last 50, 60 odd metres starting to get home pretty well under 59 kg. So I suppose under the circumstances it wasn't a bad performance really. Race number 7, the San Domenico, 1,000 metres, and there are no scratchings, a field of 11, and all riders are A-OK. Time in the previous was 2:30.88. 2:30.88, that's only about 1.48 outside the class record held by Just for Tristram, and the sectional run 36.59. Standing by for tote dividends and more news on Sydney 6.
OK, let's...
Set Melbourne. 14 is third Perth. Numbers at 9, 4 and 14.
2. One of the first out, Modesto out towards the centre here with Regimental Lord and Force Toss. Red Zam coming over from the outside and further out Royal Standing within an ace is travelling up towards the front. When they settle down, Ashley Grave is last of all. Modesto within an ace are the leaders now, and they settle from Red Zam and Force Toss, the rail and Royal Standing out 3 deep, and Abergetta out 4 wide. A length and a half further back, then hear that bell for Regimental Lord, the fledgling midfield, followed by Stylish Twig, Exulteo, Brooklyn Chimes, and then Big Baron, and 4 last of all Ashley Grove. 14.50 out, up the back of the track now, within an ace, goes up on the outside of Modesto. It leads at about a neck, about 2 to Abergetta, who's over across now to be one off the fence third there, followed by Royal Standing now on the rail running 4th. 2 to Force Toss, 2 lengths further back Red Zam, 2 behind it, hear that bell. The face is fairly even at the moment, the speed. They're followed by Regimental Lord, and further back the fledgling 3 deep from Exulteo, and then Stylish Twig, then Brooklyn Chimes, Big Baron, and 5 last of all Ashley Grove. They're strung out of over plenty of terrain down the side, and it's on the outside at the 1,000 metre mark within an ace, about 3/4 Modesto, a length into Abergetta, 2 to Royal Standing, Force Toss the rail, 2 to Red Zam, 1.5 further back, hear that bell. The fledgling on the outside of it, Brooklyn Chimes taking off out 3 deep, 2 further back Regimental Lord and Stylish Twig, 3 to Big Baron, followed by Exulteo, and 4 to Ashley Grave inside the 800 metre mark, and it's within an ace, about a neck in front of Modesto, the rail, and a neck on the outside. Abergetta about to make a line of 3, 2 further back running 4th is Royal Standing, 1.5 further back in the race Red Zam, and hear that bell, both coming into it. Then Force Toss, 2 to the fledgling, and 3 further back Stylish Twig. Up before the turn, Abergetta, the mare on the outside, hit the front now out deep from Modesto, within an ace struggling, and hear that bell to the outside, followed by Royal Standing, and waiting for a run just behind them Red Zam. Then the fledgling, they turn for home now, and up on the inside Modesto again in front now from Red Zam, getting the run through from Abergetta. Hear that bell further out in the track as they go to the 200 Modesto, Red Zam, and hear that bell on the outside looming up to them. Hear that bell's got them. Hear that bell races up to Red Zam. They beat off Modesto. Hear that bell drifting out in the centre in front of Red Zam, and hear that bell outstays them here. Hear that bell by 3/4 to Red Zam, 4 away third Modesto. Then within an ace the fledgling, a gap to Abergetta. Royal Standing followed by Regimental Lord, Big Baron. Then Force Toss followed by well back in the race Stylish Twig. With it Exulteo followed by Brooklyn Chimes and Ashley Grove.
Number 2, hear that bell, 8.80 and 2.60, 1 Red Zam, 2.20 and 8 Modesto, 2.20.
2 hear that bell on the Super Tab, 4.80 and $1.50. Number 1 Red Zam, $1, and number 8 Modesto to return 120. Correct weight Perth.
Zurich. And third place in going to Modesto, number 8, ridden by Stephen Vella. Numbers are 2, 1 and 8 to race 7 today, 2, 1 and 8. Hear that bell. Outstaying Red Zam and Modesto, 2, 1 and 8 to race 7. He put himself up into the race in the early point there, hear that bell. A horse who hasn't won for a couple of seasons. A horse on his day who's very smart. Ran 6th in the Melbourne Cup de Jeune, 6th of 24, and then went to Shah 10.
Right, openers in the last.
We'll look at
1,000 metres. Be away at any tick of the clock. They're off this time. Well, Flying Spur jumped surprisingly well from the outside. He won't stay there. Zadok goes to the lead now. Furikayo's second. Our Maze K moving up quickly. So's Millrich as Furikayo starts to get back a little bit, followed closely by Yellow King. Over on the inside, next picking up ground is Follow Through Strategic, not far away. Flying Spur is starting to lose its posse, followed by Show of Force. Yellow King getting out of its ground now with Sir Debonair as they race to the corner. Our Maze K from Millrich the inside. Zadok on a limb, followed by Strategic, and behind those Follow Through, and then Ginzano, Show of Force, Furikayo, Yellow King, Flying Spur, Sir Debonair. Our Maze K the leader down to the 250. The Kiwi Our Maze K tackled again by Millridge, Zadok, and Strategic putting in his claim. York going for home on Our Maze K. Here comes Strategic, but Our Maze K a half in front of Strategic. Our Maze K hanging out of shade, but it's too good for Strategic. Our Maze K, this talented New Zealand sprinter, wins from Strategic and Millrich. And then Zadok and Yellow King, followed by Flying Spur, Sir Debonair, Follow Through, Show of Force, Furikayo, and Ginzano at the tail of the field.
Double 21.20.
Super Tab number 3, Our Maze K, 145 and 70. Number 2, Strategic to return 80, and 9 for third, Millrich, 85.
Number 2, Strategic, ridden by Darren Beedman, 160. And third posse will go to number 9, Millrich, ridden by Shane Dye, and it'll pay $1.80. He got out a little bit in the last 75 metres. Our Maze K. Just having a look at the concluding stages on the slow-mo replay. York went for Our Maze K, and he just shifted his ground. I don't know whether he created any inconvenience to Strategic, but he's been able to win and win it nicely. 320-140, 2 Strategic, 160, number 9, Millrich at 180. Well, that's his first Australian win, Our Maze K. Of course, he ran second in the Skyline at his first Australian start in March to Strategic. He ran a close second to Octagonal in the Todman trial at Rose Hill. And of course, he ran a superlative fourth in the Golden Slipper from an outside alley, showing all that speed, and only beaten 1.3 lengths behind Flying Spur. So if ever a horse deserved a change of fortune in Australia, it certainly was the Kiwi today. A very talented horse by Maze K from Marie Vita, and is trained by Grant Searle for T. Byrne, A. Fraser, G. Mander and R.P. Rosenberg, and ridden by Brian York, giving Brian a winning double. Scored by half a length, with 2.5 lengths between second and third. A half, 2.5, 57.48, 57.48. That's a new race record. 57.48, Bettor's Proud Knights previous, a 57.6. Sectional breakdown through in a moment. Strategic, Gallant in defeat, and he'll probably derive a little bit more benefit from that run than will Our Maze K. That sectional time, thanks, Tone, 33.89 the last 600. What a blistering performance, 33.89. Strategic, Buzz Editor from Sudden Impulse, John Hawkes, Darren Beedman. Yes, I think he'll probably derive just that little bit more benefit than Our Maze K from the run. And third going to number 9, Millrich, and she fought on gallantly. Isn't she a nice, honest filly? By Rubiton from Milrani, Bob Thompson, Shane Dye. Now, number 4 ran fourth. That was Zadok. Zadok fourth. And number 7, Yellow King, was officially fifth. Flying Spur, he jumped very well from the outside alley. He couldn't stay there, but he got home all right. And if you're a Flying Spur fan, and there are plenty of you, he's being trained with longer races in mind. And certainly, I'd say that Richard Friedman and the Connections would be absolutely delighted the way he came back today. 329, Quinella $4.90, Exacta $12.20, and the Trifecta $28.30. Now, here's Rod with the update for Adelaide.